Hey there, how are you? I am Clarence and today we'll talk about the best Nintendo Switch games that are on sale right now. We will be covering the UK, Europe, US, Australia, and Canada eShop. But first and foremost, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you want to see more of this series, please leave a like, remember to subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to receive future notifications. Likes and subscriptions help keep the channel alive. Starting our list, Furi. Furi is a fantastic game with some of the best boss fights available. When it was finished, even on easy mode, I felt like I'd accomplished something. I suppose I'm disappointed by the game because it made me want more, which is a good thing. If you haven't played it before but like the concept, you should give it a shot. Furi's boss fights are so difficult that only the most dedicated players will be able to complete them without losing their minds. It appears to be a straightforward game, but it's actually a clever blend of shooter and beat-em-up mechanics wrapped in a stylish anime package. It's not for everyone because it has a lot of difficult areas and relies too heavily on repetition. However, it's refreshing to see a game that rewards careful observation, perseverance, and mastery of a well-balanced control system. Furi is a hardcore action game with difficult boss battles and an intriguing story. Next is Transcripted. Transcripted is exactly the kind of new and interesting idea that services like the eShop are designed for, and it does an excellent job of capitalizing on it. This combination of two overdone genres results in a much more interesting game that you might expect, and it adds another strong game to the Switch eShop. Transcripted is a unique experience that combines two interesting genres. It doesn't have a particularly compelling story, but the gameplay will keep you entertained for hours. Transcripted is one of the few simple puzzle games that manages to shake up its formula and provide a more unique experience to the player. Even if it isn't perfect, Transcripted gameplay, graphics, and music do a good job of making it simple but enjoyable Switch eShop experience. Old School Musical. Old School Musical is currently one of the best rhythm games on the platform, but I could do without the meaningless story. There's a lot to do, and the Switch is the best place to do it because it has HD Rumble, and is the only console capable of running it. I recommend this title if you like the genre or just want to jam out to some chiptune music. Even though there isn't much to do after the game and there isn't much to do with other people, Old School Musical is still a lot of fun for people who want to laugh about the 1980s and 1990s. Old School Musical is a fantastic soundtrack and stunning visuals that will have you wanting to go to the arcade and dance. The title Old School Musical says a lot about the game. It's a music and rhythm game with many references to classic video games. Despite the fact that it's unclear why the game didn't obtain a license to use the actual songs from the old games at the doors, Old School Musical is still a lot of fun and enjoyable game whose lifespan has been thankfully extended. Next is One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 Deluxe Edition. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 comes to Switch with a deluxe edition that retains all of the original release's pros and cons, a massive amount of content, repetitive gameplay mechanics and missions, different modes, and anime-inspired graphics. A great Switch game that is a lot of fun to play on the go. Despite the fact that the Switch version of Pirate Warriors may not have the best graphics, a lot of effort was put into ensuring that Nintendo users had the same experience. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 Deluxe Edition is a Warriors game that features repetitive hack and slash battles that do little more than grant the player more power. If you like the anime, you can relive the best parts of Luffy's adventures in a beautiful game with ton of content that will keep you hooked for a long time. Rush Rally Origins. Rush Rally Origins should be one of your first games on the Switch. It's only second to Rush Rally in terms of quality, and it's by far the best racing game to hit the Switch in recent years. Rush Rally 3 was an excellent racer from behind the wheel, and this is an excellent racer from above. It's difficult to imagine what else this developer can do in the rally racing genre for such a low price. Overall, Rush Rally Origins is a great little rally game if you don't have high expectations for the graphics. From a gameplay standpoint, it's more than adequate, and it's far superior to the original game. Even though the cars are simple to control, the game remains challenging due to its intelligent AI and strict time trial goals. It's ideal for those looking for a light-hearted arcade driving experience. The Next Penelope. The gameplay in The Next Penelope is a great combination of shoot 'em up and racing with plenty of challenges. It can be too difficult at times, and this, combined with the fact that there is no way to map the controls, keeps it from being a must-have game. People looking for a long story may be disappointed, but the time trial mode and short bursts of gameplay will keep many players coming back for more. At the end of the day, The Next Penelope isn't a racing game. It's an adventure game, but racing is one of the main things you do on it. To solve a problem, you must remember a lot of small details. The key here is strategy, which you should remember when the game throws you another curve. The trip is over before you know it, which is unfortunate because I had hoped it would last a little longer. Obviously, it is dependent on how a game spends its time. Next is Steredenn, Binary Stars, a fantastic release that manages to make the experience feel both old and new at the same time. It's a challenging game with rewarding gameplay, endless variety, and beautiful presentation that makes it a must-buy for genre fans, and a strong recommendation for those who aren't. This is the arcade game for you if you want to play it in short bursts or for hours on end. It's a beautiful, well-made, and addictive 2D shooter with so many ship, weapon, and upgrade combinations that you could spend hours trying to find them all. Binary Stars is a side-scrolling shooter with roguelike elements such as randomly generated levels and the fact that you can never die. Even if I never finish it, Steredenn Binary Stars is still enjoyable to play, and I will gladly return to it. Alba, a wildlife adventure. Alba, a wildlife adventure is a great fit for the Switch in the end, and it works well both handheld and docked. If you haven't done it yet through Apple Arcade, don't pass it up this time. Alba, a wildlife adventure has a few minor flaws but not much else to complain about. Alba is a game that makes you happy, whether it's because of the lovely graphics, the natural open world, the adorable animals, or the soothing music. It takes an unusually optimistic view of people's environmental problems and does an excellent job of making the player appreciate how unique the ordinary is. Alba, a wildlife adventure is a breath of fresh air in a world saturated with games about killing and destroying. Its emphasis on observation is a welcome change of pace, and like Pokemon Snap, it never feels forced down our throats. My only wish is that it lasted a little longer than 2 to 3 hours, but I think you'll come back to this one because it's simple to play. Next is ScourgeBringer. ScourgeBringer is a fantastically polished and addictive roguelite adventure that immediately immerses players in non-stop, fast-paced battles and never lets up. This game makes no attempt to hide the fact that it is difficult, and if you struggle with the constant repetition and death that comes with roguelite games, you may struggle to keep going. But if you enjoy a challenge or a fan of games like Celeste or Dead Cells and want more, what Flying Oak Games has created with this one will not disappoint. ScourgeBringer is a must-play for fans of the genre, if only for the difficulty and beautiful graphics. It's not the most creative idea, but it serves its purpose admirably. ScourgeBringer is a roguelite game with everything imaginable. The gameplay moves quickly, the graphics and music are excellent, and the controls are simple to grasp. This excellent action platformer is enjoyable to play despite its many button-heavy fights and difficulty. Next is Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince. Frozen Byte has returned the series to its roots with Trine 4, The Nightmare Prince, making puzzles that change over time the main draw. The Switch's controls are tight, and the basic button layout and controls feels natural. This game has so many fun and challenging puzzles that it's worth buying just to keep your brain busy. Despite the fact that the story and action aren't as deep as they could be, and that I got lost in the puzzles, I thought this was one of the best Switch games I'd played. The fourth installment of the Trine series features a stunning visual and audio environment, a large and varied multiplayer mode, and a plethora of enjoyable and challenging puzzles. The latest chapter of the Trine series is sure to enchant players, and it returns the series to a land of wonder. Trine 4 The Nightmare Prince is a welcome return to form of Frozen Byte's fantasy adventure in every way that matters. Next is Lonely Mountains Downhill. Lonely Mountains Downhill is a Nintendo Switch game that allows you to participate in extreme sports. Never before has descending a mountain been so enjoyable and addictive. This challenge is recommended if you enjoy extreme sports simulation games, even if it is your first time playing this type of game. Lonely Mountains Downhill is an excellent example of a game with simple mechanics that is executed flawlessly. Fans of the Trials series will recognize that there is always something luring you back in in for one more dangerous ride. Lonely Mountains Downhill, on the other hand, is a beautiful, often peaceful experience that I couldn't stop playing for weeks because the call of the mountain was too strong. Whether you're pedaling down narrow paths with little room for error, catching air off natural stone ramps, or taking a quick break by riding over a railed bridge, Downhill is a challenging yet surprisingly relaxing experience. Don't let a few blunders deter you from giving it a shot. It's a game worth learning how to play well. And last but not the least, SteamWorld Heist Ultimate Edition. SteamWorld Heist has always been a fantastic game, and the Switch port may be the best way to experience it. This game is ideal for playing on the go because it was designed for the 3DS, and the touch controls work just as well here as they did on the 3DS. Of course, it helps that the core gameplay is just as good. Thanks to great design and unique take on the strategy genre, the other developers haven't really challenged. Because of its strengths and the fact that it looks and sounds so good, SteamWorld Heist's few flaws are easy to overlook. This version is recommended for both newcomers and those who have played previous versions. Ultimate Edition is a fantastic version of a fantastic game that works flawlessly on the Switch. Because of its deep gameplay and stylish aesthetic, this is one of the best independent games. This is an excellent example of a well-crafted game. Pick up this game if you like strategy games in general, or if you're looking for something fun to do for the next 2 weeks. It's an excellent addition to the SteamWorld series because it adds a unique twist to the standard turn-based strategy gameplay. It may not have the most compelling story, but its deep and varied combat will keep players returning to test their skills and face more difficult challenges. There's a lot of bang for your buck, with a runtime of about 15 hours, but it's worth keeping an eye on if you want a deep but easy to play SRPG that you can take with you. Here are some games that are on sale right now that you might want to check out. There might be something you want here. That's all guys, I hope this video was helpful in deciding which game to play, and thank you for checking out the list. Please remember to subscribe and we'll see you at the next one.